Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast.
All right, I don't know if you've ever had to put your pet down. I know Murphy and Jodi, you guys have.
Multiple times, yes.
But I have never had to do it as a grown boy.
Okay.
When I was a child, when my brother and I were children, my dad took care of that. Even for our gerbils, they went to the vet, for the last roundup.
Okay.
But I'm in the process now of almost getting ready to have to do that with Gus, my boy.
You believe so? He's changing?
Something Jodi said last week, you'll know.
You will know.
And you do, yeah.
And I've started to sense it. It's like all of a sudden, it's like, okay. So me not being one to want to walk into the vet, it's like, here's Gus, well, let's do this, and then have to deal with, okay, do you want this? Do you want that? I went yesterday to the vet to get all my numbers straight.
So good.
To get my plan straight.
Good, okay.
You're doing it right.
That's the way I operate, just because I've heard the stories from y'all, and I guess it's because I've also had time to know that this is coming.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, it's today.
Right.
And they offer, the price-wise, they offer, bring them in, we'll take care of it. You can have the mass cremation. You can have your special thing where you get them sent. You can take them home and bury them. I already told them that. That's ruled out. I'm not doing that.
Right.
And they can come to your house and do it all.
Right.
There's
a million different packages.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful that, a lot of clinics will offer that now to come to you? That's, I know producer Faith experienced that. I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't either until Faith mentioned it. So I was like, well, let me check into that. And it was like a $100 home visit. So it's basically adding $100, which is like, okay.
It definitely works in a situation where maybe it would be stressful for an animal to not be in their normal surroundings.
Or a heavy animal that's difficult to, maneuver.
Yeah, and Gus is 75 pounds. He's a lab mix, so that's not going to be an easy one. So everything's okay right now. It's just now I got my facts straight, so I know when the time comes. And right now it's really like a daily thing, because there's days I go home and it's like he just has a miserable afternoon. And it's like, I got to do something. And
miserable in what way?
Just he looks at you, and then he has a little limp now on one of his back legs. And so he'll do that. But
you can
the next day I go home and he's at the door with a toy, and it's like, hey, tail wagging, and let's go out. It's time to eat. Yeah.
Right. Sure.
So it's like, okay. It reminds me of one of the dogs you had, Murphy, where you said, it's time. You'd take him to the vet, and on the way to the vet, he'd perk up, and it's like, all right, back
home. That was Piggy, our pug. Yeah, she was the one that had 9 lives.
Piggy Gaga.
Yeah, so I don't want to, decide. I'm playing it day by day, but it's going to happen real soon. Yeah. And I'm just steeling myself, getting ready for it.
Now, is Gus aware you're having these conversations with the vet?
Okay. Let Gus.
No, honestly, I'm glad you asked that, because that is one of the things that goes through my head. It's like, even if I were to bring him in and do this, it's like, does he know what's going on?
I don't think so.
Does it just another trip to the vet for him? And when it's over with, it's too.
He's happiest with you because he's your dog.
Yeah.
And they're their ultimate companions. And so what I did with a couple of ours, and I absolutely would always recommend this. It's a personal decision.
Very personal decision.
Very personal. Yeah. There's no wrong way to choose to do it.
Correct.
But what happens is they give them something that they fall asleep first.
Oh, yeah.
And then do the other.
Actually, my vet, they explained it to me yesterday. It's a one thing.
They do one thing.
The one thing, it's very strong. And I was like, well, it's like a half hour, 15 minutes. And they said everything should be done within a half hour.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is going to fall on me. You guys are a couple. Usually families decide. This is going to fall on me. And it's like, it's one of those things where.
Yeah, when.
And, oh, wait, should I have just waited one more day because he could get through another week?
No, you'll know, but you'll always look. It's so counterintuitive. You've cared for him. You've been his. That's what's wrong with it. It feels so counterintuitive. My papa always said too. It's hard because they just trust you with everything. So for you to do that, however, it's not like he's not going to know. That's why he's there. And the beautiful thing that's worked for me a couple of times. We would go in and that dog would be in my arms for it. So the dog is just at the vet in my arms.
Yeah.
And, leaves with me, leaves the world in my embrace, which was their happy place.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to, but I liked it.
I owe it to Gus to do that.
Yes.
And I'm really thinking about doing the home thing because there's a couple spots at the house that it's like, this would be a good spot for it. On the patio.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, for somebody that loves to be precise, as I know you do, and I'm the same way,
No.
you're not going to make the perfect decision. There is no perfect time. If anything, and Jodi and I always believed, there were some moments where like, okay, did we wait a day too late?
Too long.
But I would rather err to that side. I don't, we never wanted our dogs to be in any sort of, pain, but things change on the fly. There's no way for you to know because of what Jodi said a minute ago. It's so weird how, I don't know if it's their pain tolerance that is so great or it's their loyalty to you, but it's almost like that becomes masked. It's almost like it has to be so dramatic that they're just not themselves at all anymore. And I think that's what happened in a couple of cases, for us with our pit mix, Stella, for example. She had a condition, we guess it was a tumor or something like that was sitting on part of her brain, and eventually she couldn't.
Her equilibrium
was off. She would fall and all that, and it obviously became uncomfortable for her, and she was
confused about what was happening to her.
Right.
She was upset with life. She had become upset with life, so we made that decision.
Right, and because she just would stay in her bed and not move, and that's when we realized, okay. And then Chevy, our very first boxer, and that was our first experience with that, which I didn't know how I was going to, handle that, either. Chevy, like many boxers, lost the ability to feel his back legs, and walk around. We were in stand up, and we sustained that for a little while. We were able to help him, but then suddenly he couldn't get up at all, and that's when we worried. Okay, did we wait?
A day too long?
Just one day too long.
Yeah, there is no perfect decision, but listen. Most people, how cool of you to go and make these arrangements ahead of time so you're not having to make those decisions on the fly or emotionally.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I don't want it to be
good.
where I get home one day and it's like, okay, now's the time, and I take him in and I know nothing. I mean, I know what you guys have said because we're all together, that it's like, I don't want to be making okay, would you like this or this or this or this? And it's like, I now know what I want to do. So when the time comes, I know what to do.
Yeah, that's
I'm
really
still
cool.
not going to enjoy it, but
Well, you put him first, and then the other decisions that are really kind of ancillary to it. They're all important questions they're asking, but you're putting what you want for him first before all the other stuff, which is great.
It's just the job of the pet owner.
Yeah,
really. Yeah. And I say you'll know when it's right factually to do it. It's accepting it that it's time is the problem. That's where you second guess it. You will know.
I have entered in the past week, literally the past week, maybe 10 days, I've entered the phase of, okay, over the past 2 years that he's been having these seizures, it's like I thought as soon as he started having those 2 years ago, okay, his time is up. But it's like, no, obviously this medication has kept him going for 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, but in the last week, I can just see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming to be time, but it's not time.
Correct.
Yeah.
I could go home today and he could be bouncing off the walls again like usual.
Then enjoy it.
Let him out in the yard yesterday, and he starts trying to do zoomies, but rolling on his back, and it's like, okay, I can't take him today.
Correct.
He's
too happy today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I even, being a novice at this, I even Googled, when is and it's all the same stuff you're saying, Murphy, and it's like when there's more bad days than good days.
Correct. Yeah.
It's like I'm ready, I guess now. I'm ready, but I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jodi's filter has always been, what is the humane thing to do? It's that it really when does it become unfair for them to still have to fight?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that, but again, I think that you would know.
Yeah, and I'm battling myself because I want it to be about him.
Yeah, right.
I want it to be about him, not okay. This is inconvenient for me having to help him up, or inconvenient for me having to do this for him. It's like
no, it's you. That's the deal you make with pet ownership because they do not They're the only thing about it that's hard is the lifespans don't match up.
Yeah.
Human beings and dogs or cats or whatever, that the lifespans don't match, and so that's you go into having a pet hopefully with your eyes open about that you may be in this place. Still worth it, still wonderful. Gus has been awesome.
Oh yeah,
for you.
I mean,
and you for him.
I haven't told him, look, you're going to leave me with this cat. And of course, my mom is already, well, when Gus goes, you need to get you another dog right away. And it's like,
only when you're ready.
Hold on, Mom.
Yeah. She's doing that because she doesn't want you. She's your mom. She doesn't want you to feel any pain, so she wants to mask it right away.
Exactly.
Moms
exactly.
do.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.